What up? What it do? It's your boy JDQ with Vision IB TV, and I'd like to welcome you guys to the second installation of $1 comic raffle giveaway. Now, before I start any of this tonight, I would like to remind you guys that no, this is not a comic book channel. This is not a comic collecting channel. This is not even a hobby collectible channel. However, those of you who have been following me from the main channel and have transitioned over to this channel are extremely aware that comic collecting is one of my hobbies. It's one of my passions. It's something that I enjoy, that I love doing, and I've been building up my own collection, my own new collection since 2015. After having stopped for like over a decade when I was younger. Um, but as of recently, those of you who have been following along with the streams know that I am trying to get rid of like my dad's old collection and my old collection. And I figured out a fun way of doing it where everyone wins and everyone can benefit. That way I'm not being lowballed. That way I'm not being taken advantage of. Like if I think an issue is worth something and someone tries to lowball me or whatever, you know, doing it the way I'm gonna do it tonight and the way I've been trying to do it is going to prevent or help prevent me from feeling like I lost, feeling like I got taken advantage of, feeling like I got lowballed, and at the same time giving as many people as possible a chance and opportunity to get some, you know, vintage or key or semi key or just interesting comics altogether at dirt cheap prices. So, as I have explained in the past streams, the rules are simple. $1 to my Cash App and PayPal gets you an entry, and every extra dollar gives you an extra entry all the way up to a maximum of 20 entries in total. All right. So, um, we are going to do things a little differently today, though, because I took advice from both my cousin and my sister. And they saw that I was struggling a little bit with like doing the name picking through like the paper and written down. Damien, what's going on, man? Blessings and love to you. And by the way, blessings and love to everyone who is here right now or who is going to be here tonight. In advance, I'd like to thank you. Extremely grateful, extremely thankful for every single one of you guys for showing love and support. You could have been anywhere else, doing anything else, but you chose to stop by, hang out with myself. So I appreciate that. But yeah, so tonight, instead of doing the name drawing through papers, we're gonna do it through like the bingo balls. So we're gonna do it that way tonight, and then we'll continue to experiment which way is the best. Because I did initially want to do like a automated random username generator picker, but I couldn't find one that would add extra entries to the generator. So until I find one that's like that, we'll keep figuring out how we're gonna select the names at random. But as far as tonight goes, we're gonna use the bingo balls. And I'm gonna explain that in a few seconds. I am doing well, Damien. I'm doing okay. It's funny because it felt like a long day at work, even though not a lot, like not a lot happened at work, but it still feels like it was like a long day at work. Maybe it's because of that. Um, but literally, I after I got out of work, I made like a pit stop and then came straight here to try to get the room ready for this stream. So I haven't really had a break to like breathe or relax or anything like that. It's just been like all go, go, go. Um, but I'm trying to get rid of these comics ASAP while at the same time not feel like I'm losing. Okay, that's one of the main reasons I'm doing it like this, because again, if I were to put these up on eBay or other platforms, and people are gonna start like lowballing and like just kind of like undervaluing every single issue, it becomes a situation because I paid a certain amount for most of these that it wasn't cheap. So to then turn around and have someone like offer less, I just don't want to like go through that. So because that's always like when it comes to flipping things, it's like always the worst thing. Like when you know you paid in a certain amount and someone's offering you like way less and way below, it's just really difficult to move things, and to like sell things. So here are some of the rules of the raffle. Okay, now uh, paying monthly sucks. So I already explained some of the rules, but I'll start from the very beginning and then just work my way through the rules. So because this channel is not yet monetized, it will be monetized at some point, hopefully this week. But because it's not monetized yet, the easiest and fastest way to enter or like um, buy a submission or buy what do you call it? Buy like a number, I guess, or whatever, or buy a ticket is as low as $1. And the only way, or the fastest way, most convenient way to send the dollar is through PayPal or Cash App. My PayPal and Cash App are in the About Me section, if you were wondering. Um, but I know at some point in the live chat coming up soon, they'll probably share my PayPal and Cash App information. They can vouch for me. They know I'm an honest guy. Someone won last night the the Avengers versus Doctor Doom issue. And I'm actually waiting to hear back from them for them to reach out to me so I can like send them the issue or whatever. But everyone who has been with me since the main channel, they know I'm an honest person. They know that when it comes to these things, I sometimes I might take a while when it comes to sending out certain things, but one way or another, I always get it done. So the other rule, okay, is the maximum amount of entries per person is 20. Okay, that's as much as you can buy your tickets is $20, no more than $20. If you are buying on behalf of another person or another name or whatever, that's a little tricky. But at the same time, I'll allow it only because if you're willing to put up the money for the other person, or even if you're trying to be slick and just pay more money for yourself, then that's completely up to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna. It is what it is. I can't really. I'll take everyone's word for it. You know. And I'll let people decide how much they want to spend on some of these comics. But again, the minimum required to enter the raffle, just to enter it, is just $1. With $1, you already have a chance at winning the comic. And as we saw from last night, one of the last two people that entered the raffle, which weren't even there on stream, someone else was buying a raffle ticket on their behalf. One of them only had like 10 entries and they won, and other people had more entries. So oh, I know, William. I know you're right. um, the only reason why I say that when I've talked about monetize is because I know that super chat is very straightforward and simple and easy to use, and people prefer to use super chat on YouTube. So I'm aware that it's like the most convenient and fastest way. Um, However, um, we're not monetized yet. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry. Uh, Man, I forgot to send the link to someone real quick. So let me excuse me for 1 second. But before I start anything officially, I'm gonna play like a few clips, and that way it's not just me talking on and on. Just like I did last night. Last night, I played different videos and clips from like different channels that were talking about the character on the cover of the comic that I was raffling. So we're gonna do the same thing right now. Yeah. Okay. 1 second, guys. Jeez. I hate the fact that like I don't know why the internet today of all days is going like super slow. But whatever. That's what it is. Hey,
Be sure to check out Rob Plays. There you can hang out with me.
So weird. The internet is
So what I
never
want
this slow.
to do here is have a discussion about Rogue and development of our character from the most popular members of the X-Men team. And what I'm hoping is that by all this, you'll have a better understanding of our characters, have some preparation, discussion on all new Avengers with regard to Civil War II. So while Chris Claremont had initially planned to introduce Rogue in issue number 25 of the Carol Danvers Miss Marvel series, because a publication was abruptly canceled with issue number 23 due to poor sales, Claremont was forced to wait 2 more years to debut the character, which came about in the pages of Avengers Annual number 10 in 1981. While the reasons for Claremont's creation of Rogue have not been specifically explained, Rogue fits in perfectly with a long line of female characters created by Claremont within the X-Men universe, which includes Mystique, Kitty Pryde, Emma Frost, Psylocke, and Jubilee. Jumping forward a bit to 2005 with Rogue's 6-issue limited series, while her character's real name had remained completely unrevealed for over 20 years, following the rise of her popularity and with the release of the X-Men film in 2000, Rogue was provided an origin of her own, detailing the complete events of her backstory. Going by the name Anna Marie, with no last name having ever been given in the comics, Rogue grew up in Caldecott, Mississippi, where she was raised predominantly by her father and Aunt Carrie. a strict but dutiful caretaker following her mother's untimely death.
That is true.
As Rogue began to
And
mature
thanks for
into a
being here, by the
teenager,
way.
she began to
It means a
manifest
lot.
her
I
power to
appreciate it.
absorb the memories and abilities of anyone she came into contact with,
So
the first occurrence taking place when she
I'm
kisses
just
her
kind of
boyfriend
like
Cody
letting this
Robbins,
video like
during which time she
kind
absorbs
of
his
like
life force and renders
play
him
over for like a
comatose.
few seconds,
Following
minutes,
this, the experience
just
left Rogue
so
traumatized as she was
people
faced
coming
with
in
the
can kind
reality
of like
that she'd never be able to live a normal life because of her
see
mutant
what
ability, and
character
began the
on
practice
pretty
of
much like the
completely
cover
covering
of
her skin so as not
the
to endanger
issue that
those
we're
around her.
going to, one
Following
of the
the
issues that
incident
we
with
can
Cody
raffle
Robbins,
tonight.
the boy's father gathers a
Hopefully
mob
we
and
can
sets out for
raffle
Anna
like
Marie's
4,
house. While her father is able
because
to
the
hold the
goal
mob
is
off
to like
long enough for Anna
raffle
Marie to
at
escape
least
into the
5
swamps of
issues per
Mississippi,
stream.
her journey leads her into a woman named
Last
Raven
night
Darkholme,
was
better
rough.
known as the
Like we
shapeshifting
got
mutant
it done,
Mystique. Taking Rogue
but
under her
it
wing,
took
Mystique effectively
way
becomes an
longer
adoptive
than it
mother of
should have.
sorts, and under her tutelage, Rogue
So
begins using her powers to help further the cause of Mystique's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, leading to her first appearance in
just
Avengers Annual number
this,
10.
I guess.
Opening up with Spider-Woman Jessica Drew rescuing a woman who had fallen off the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. After Jessica gets the woman to the hospital, one of the doctors reveals that the woman appears to have almost no brain activity, with
So
her mind functioning at the level of a newborn. Finding herself joined by
so real quick, I mean, this is like a general overview of Rogue, but the point I'm trying to make is this issue is the first issue where Rogue actually joins the X-Men, like officially joins the X-Men. Before she joins the X-Men, she's part of like the Brotherhood of Evil and all that. And I think um, her first actual appearance in a comic is in the ROM issues, which I have actually that first issue where she comes out in, and I might be raffling that off as well soon, like later this week. But this is the issue where Rogue actually joins the X-Men. Like she becomes part of the team on this issue. This is a direct sell issue. So like the Spider-Man logo right there, it just means that it was like sent straight to the comic book store back when they were first printing these out and you know sending them out to the comic books directly. Some have the newsstand barcode, and those of you who know about the difference, the only difference is that the ones that had a barcode, they were sent to newsstands and all that good stuff. But this was one of the issues that was sent straight to the comic book store when it first came out. Uh, the condition of this is really, really good. Like I'm not trying to sell you on it. I'm just saying, like, if I were to like grade this, it'd be like no less than a 7, like 7.0. I don't like putting grades on it. You know what I mean? But it doesn't have anything. The only thing it has that I can see someone might point out is like 3 or 4 spine ticks that are minor on the spine. Obviously, it's a spine tick; it's gonna have it on the spine. But other than that, man, the colors are vibrant. It's clean. There's no scars or scratches or it's not. It doesn't have any missing color or whatever on the cover. Nothing like that. Um, Everything is legible. Everything looks like almost as it came out of the press and all that. So, you know, those of you who are X-Men fans, those of you who are Rogue fans, if you know someone who is a fan, send them the link to the stream. Let them know, hey, you could win yourself an original, like vintage uh, Rogue joining the X-Men issue for $1 per entry for the raffle. The goal before I start the raffle officially and start like putting down the the numbers, because we're doing like the bingo numbers tonight. We're not going to do the handwritten names like we did last night because that takes way too long. So we're going to try doing the bingo balls that over here. Okay. So we're going to pick the numbers, and what I'm going to do is to make it extremely fair. This is how it's going to go down. Okay. Let me take this out the way. The way it's going to go down is anytime and every time someone buys their raffle tickets through Cash App or PayPal, like for example, let's say someone sends the maximum that's allowed, which is 20, right? So they buy 20 entries for the raffle, right? So I take that moment to tend to that person and let them pick whatever numbers they're going to pick off of this card, okay? You know what I'm saying? Or like it's gonna be like this side. There's 25 numbers on this side, so I'll 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 mix it up. Like if you want to use both sides, you can do that or whatever, just to kind of like spread out your chances, right? But I'm going to, place the numbers that that person picked under that person's name. That way, no one else that comes after that person picks the same number. So if let's just put, for example, let's say Emily, she bought 20 entries, right? And like I said, there's 25 spots on each side of the card, so she can mix it up. She can pick some of the numbers on this side, some of the numbers on this side, and then this card is tossed. You know what I mean? And then so on and so forth. And then the next person, that sends the entries through Cash App or PayPal. I do the same thing with a different card, so on and so forth. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, easy. No nonsense. I think. I mean, that's in my opinion, that's pretty straightforward. And bingo balls, bingo balls, but I'll take it. Um, a round of applause for the lovely, amazing, beautiful Emily Rose. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. It means a lot. But yeah, I mean, does anyone have any questions, any doubts, any questions, any concerns, any misunderstandings, any I don't know. I'll let you guys ask questions and I'll try to clarify everything as best as I can. Um, oh, by the way, one thing I did forget to mention, Bing balls. Um, because there's 25 spots on each side, and obviously it's only 20 total, like maximum total entries per person. Whatever spots one person didn't take from one card, the next person can take, you know what I'm saying, the spots that were left. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah. So in case you were wondering, because I know that's probably a question that some of you had already, but yeah. If there's any spots left on this card, then yeah. Do it that way. The only reason why, um, the only reason why I'm kind of like sure that because last night was weird. Last night was cool. It was good. It was exciting and it was unexpected. But the case that one person would buy as many entries as they did, like they did last night, is uncommon. You know what I mean? It's really uncommon. And so I can't base things off of what happened last night because that was just off the wall. I'm not gonna lie. Victor really surprised me. Um, what the? You guys, you guys keep surprising me by the minute. I'm not gonna say who, but someone sent something through PayPal, which I was not expecting at all, at all. Um, I wonder if he wants me to read what he I don't know. Y'all want me to read what he wrote in the note of the donation? I don't know. He wrote a sweet note, but I don't know if I should read it. And I don't know if he wants me to read it. I'm not gonna read his name because some of you know who he is. But he was nice enough to. Okay, so someone has bought out the hundred entries entirely. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll the numbers. Y'all are gonna have this is gonna be tough because now um whoever is gonna participate, I'm gonna give a minimum of like 5 people who are wanting to participate, like 20 entries from the get go. No, William. He's buying the entries for you guys. He's buying the entries for you guys, literally. So whoever is in here, you don't have to pay nothing. I'm giving this away. I'm giving this away for free because the person who sent the $100 for the 100 entries, um, he's gifting it to you guys. Basically, he said, you know, spread out the entries to whoever's there, gift it to somebody, whoever wins like the number picking. So, yeah, this first one is on the house. We still have to roll the number, and you guys have to, pick a number, I guess. Um, Dang, this is gonna be tough, yo. So, I believe. Let me just double check here. Okay, so all right, look. So this is what the total like number count looks like. Okay, so you got B is 1 through 15. I is from 16 to 30. I don't know if y'all want to write that down or what, but um, it's gonna be tough, yo. You know what I'm gonna do because it's tricky. I think right now is perfect time to just choose a username generator because I think that would be like the fairest way right now. What do y'all think? Like y'all want to do like the bingo balls, or you all want me to just put everyone's name who's in the live chat right now in a username generator and do it that way? That way, either way is a fair shot, to be completely honest. But just let me know in the live chat because literally everyone here has a chance at it because this person gifted the 100 entries to all of you, whoever's in the live chat right now. He literally gifted the 100 entries and spread them out, you know what I'm saying, to all of you. So, which I have to comment back on him because that was unexpected. um like, whoa. And we got technically we got 3 more to go. So unless, I don't know, we might just keep things moving. And we'll call it a day with the raffle, I guess, because let me know in the live chat which route you guys want me to take. You want to do the bingo balls, we can do that. um if y'all want to do the random username generator, we can do that too. I just need you guys to vote in the live chat and I'll make it happen. But yeah, some lucky person in the live chat right now is getting this for free because I'm paying for the shipping and everything. So I put Tetris guide into please, as he's not here, must be busy. Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Dang. I wish I could tell y'all who it is, man, but I know he don't want me to like say who it is. He likes staying anonymous every time he does something like this. Um, and he does it every now and then. He's been one of the supporters that really surprises me from time to time. You know, is really it's weird in a good way. And I always tell him, whenever I get a chance to bless you back the way you've blessed me, I will. Like I definitely will, because it's ridiculous. If y'all knew how much he has helped me over the over the span of 2 years, he's been a real blessing. And I never ask him for anything. He just decides to send it. You know what I mean? Just from the goodness of his heart. So it's just it's amazing to know people like that. It's crazy. Um, he's something else, man. But I'm grateful for him and every one of you guys, because I know that just like him, if y'all had the capacity to uh, give me 1 second, guys. Uh, yeah, definitely much love to him. um, definitely super nice of him. And like I said, it's something that he does from time to time, like sporadically. He does it like on his own, like you know, whatever. I could be just cleaning dishes one day, just and randomly he'll just be like, "Hey man, thanks for like the stream from the other day or the topic that you talked about the other day or whatever," and he'll just send it, and I'll be like, "You don't have to be, you don't got to do this, man." And he's like, "I know, but I want to," so it's like I'm not gonna say no. All right, I'm gonna vote for y'all because y'all taking an extremely long amount of time to decide. So we're gonna do the username randomizer. Um, we're gonna do okay. Yeah, we're gonna do this. So we got who's all in here? Emily Rose. Let's do Emily. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why there's a freaking gnat. There's no dead bodies in here, so there's like a gnat, and it's like really disturbing. Williams in here. Um, I need y'all to kind of like quote unquote speak up in the live chat just to know who's still here. That way, I don't put someone's name that's not here. Aside from Tetris, because well, Tetris has been part of the community forever, so it's kind of like we can't leave him out. Just let me know in the live chat who's all still watching. I know for a fact, like Emily's still watching, William is still watching. Who else is still watching? Let me know in the live chat. Put like a I don't know, type of one, or type here, or type I don't know anything, just to know that you're still here and alive and breathing. That way, I can enter you into the raffle submission. So we got William still here. We got Emily still here. I see like 8 people in total in the live chat. So who else is all in here? Who can hear me? Let me know in the live chat, guys. Let me know. Let me know. Trying to hurry things along so that way we can actually talk about music industry news and all that good stuff. Yeah, I know what I'd like to talk about. So, mm-mm-mm. Let me know. Yeah, I know. I know you're here, William. Who else besides William, Emily, is all here still? I need to know so that I can enter the names in the random name picker, raffle picker, um, so we can get the raffle done and over with and move on to the next topic at hand for tonight. I see 10 people in here. I need to know who all is in here. Let me know. If I win, want to double it for next event. So next one, they double the prizes. That's if my luck breaks through. Yeah, you can do that. It's completely fine, man. Um, Wait a second. What? We got okay. We got a longtime supporter and viewer messaging me through Facebook Messenger. Terrence, if y'all remember Terrence, um, Spider Woman and Moonstone, David. Yeah, man. There is. I think there is a lag. Wow, that's crazy. Um, Guys, I need to know who is all still here so I can type y'all's name in the randomizer and select a winner of this comic. Even if it's just like the 10 people that are here, one of you 10 people that are here, like one of y'all is going to win this for free. I would be shipping it out to you at some point this week. I just need the names. I need y'all to say here or I'm still here or hey or I don't know. Just type whatever in live chat. That way I know you're still breathing. I know you're still alive. I know you're still paying attention. Um, and I know that you're interested in the issue. Right now, I only have two names in the generator. That's not going to work. I need more names in the generator. So I'm going to wait, even if it takes up until 9 p.m., for y'all to speak up and type it out. Okay. Well, I mean, I know you're here, Emily. That's your name's already on the generator. Anyone besides William and Emily, if you're still here, if you're still watching, if you're still interested, if you in any way, shape, or form want this comic for free, and just type something in the live chat. waiting, waiting. Let's go, people. Let's go. I'm trying to. Oh my goodness. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Say something on the live chat. I wanna move things forward, people. Let's go. Let's make it happen, Captain. Again, if you're in the live chat, okay, anyone besides Emily, Rose, and William. Yeah, I mean, I really will. Like, if I have to, I will. Like, listen, I'm very strict when it comes to this kind of thing. So, all I need is the names, people, or anything that you can type in the live chat will help. Doesn't matter what. Just let me know you're here, and I'll type your name in the generator. We'll get things going. We'll have a good time. We'll talk about music. We'll talk about the music industry slash world news, and have a good old time. But in order to do that and get to that, I need to get rid of this comic. And the only way of getting rid of it is for you guys to say something on live chat. That we can put your name in the generator and pick a winner. So that's what we're doing right now. Yeah. Mhm. Let's go, people. Let's go. Let's go. Let's make it happen. Let's go. Want to see words in the live chat. Want to see interaction in the live chat. Let's go. It's not really up to me because I already said I can't sound like a broken record every few seconds in between. I can only do that for so often until I get irritated. So let's go. Guys, I'm not going to put just William and Emily on the generator. I need the rest of you to type something in the live chat so that I can add names to the random name generator and pick a winner. Not that hard. It's really not that hard. Here, in the meantime, while you guys get out of your shell, I'll continue to show this real quick. And here. I'll be right back. Just gotta do something really quick.
Lieutenant Sabrina Morell of the San Francisco Police Department, Jessica Drew is informed that the woman is not just any Jane Doe, but is actually Carol Danvers, who's been missing for 6 months. Unsure of what to do, Spider-Woman calls for help in the form of Professor Charles Xavier, who agrees to come to San Francisco to examine Miss Marvel telepathically. During his examination, he discovers that Carol Danvers' memory and conscious mind have been completely erased, and after digging further, Professor X is also able to identify Carol Danvers' attacker as a mysterious woman named Rogue. From here, we switch to New York City, where Rogue has attacked Captain America. Defeating him with extreme ease, this particular scuffle provides us with the first instance of Rogue's abilities on display. Through her contact with Miss Marvel, Rogue has absorbed both Carol Danvers' memories and her powers, including super strength, speed, and flight. Rogue also explains that since she maintained contact with Carol Danvers for an extended period of time, instead of gaining these abilities temporarily, Rogue's current power set exists as part of her indefinitely. Throwing Captain America through one of the windows of Avengers Mansion, prompting the team to send out a distress call to Iron Man, the story reveals that Tony Stark had been incapacitated by Mystique, who gained entrance to his laboratory by disguising herself as Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp. Following this, Mystique reveals that with a brotherhood.
Los sabores están de vuelta, los desfiles y collares están de vuelta, y tú también puedes estar de vuelta y disfrutar de una refrescante Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, Mardi Gras en Universal Orlando Resort.
Had previously existed as a group of mutants led by Magneto and fighting on behalf of mutant rights, albeit using vigilante tactics. Following Magneto's previous defeat by the X-Men, Mystique had taken over the team, with Rogue operating as her apprentice. Switching back to Avengers Mansion, Rogue becomes involved in a scuffle with Thor, Spider-Woman, Vision, and Wonder Man Simon Williams, where she succeeds in absorbing Thor's powers and dispensing with the rest of the team before making her escape. Now, following this first appearance, which functioned as a way for Mystique to display her new role in the Marvel Universe and provide us as the reader with a display of Rogue's abilities, within the larger universe, Rogue made scattered appearances in some of Marvel's less popular books, including the solo series of Dazzler and Ron the Space Knight, before returning to the forefront in Uncanny X-Men number 170. Centering on Rogue leaving Mystique and seeking out Charles Xavier, the story revealed that as a side effect of her absorption of the memories of others, particularly Carol Danvers, Rogue has been experiencing a great deal of psychological stress, including her inability to separate the thoughts and memories of others from her own. And so after performing a psychic evaluation on her, Professor Xavier not only admits Rogue to his school for gifted youngsters, but also makes her a probationary member of the X-Men team, a decision that angered the existing team to the point that Storm and Nightcrawler threatened to leave. While their decision results in staying with the X-Men, this comes by way of Professor X arguing that turning away Rogue's request for help would actually go against the overall mission of the group. In addition to this, because the character of Rogue also served as a way to maintain the element of Carol Danvers without the concern of readers forgetting about her, the Rogue-Carol Danvers dichotomy served as a central part of her character. Where Claremont's initial foray into Rogue's time on the X-Men focused on her gaining the team's trust in issues 173 and 179, the ongoing struggle for control of her mind came to a head when the Carol Danvers persona was awakened after Rogue hears a message on the answering machine of Charles Xavier from Carol's former boyfriend, Michael Rossi. Sensing that Rossi is in trouble, Rogue rushes to the SHIELD helicarrier where he's being held prisoner, rescues him, and takes him to the childhood home of Carol Danvers in Massachusetts. However, when Rossi comes to, instead of viewing Carol Danvers, he instead hears Carol's voice coming from Rogue, who explains that when she absorbed Carol's powers and memories, she also absorbed the feelings that Carol had for Rossi. To this end, Rossi rebukes Rogue's outpouring of emotion and leaves in anger. Now, after this encounter and going into the future of her character, because fan reception was strong regarding the idea of Rogue and Danvers fighting over a physical body, Claremont continued the theme in Uncanny X-Men number 236, with Rogue having suffered a sexual assault at the hands of a team of Denosian prison guards while being held captive. As a result, the trauma of this incident forces Rogue to retreat as far as she can within her own subconscious and brings her psyche face to face with the psyche of Carol Danvers, convincing Rogue to let her take control in order to rescue Wolverine and escape the prison. While Rogue is initially afraid of Danvers not relinquishing control of her body, Rogue reluctantly agrees, after which she and Wolverine were able to succeed in their escape. Following these events, Rogue continues to house both her own personality and that of Carol Danvers within her own mind, and at one point, Danvers' psyche is so firmly in control that she adopts the Ms. Marvel costume. Where this transformation only took place for a couple of issues due to fans hating the idea, in Uncanny X-Men issues 246 and 247 titled The Day of Other Lights and The Light That Failed, during a battle with Master Mold, the original Sentinel Matrix created by Bolivar Trask, the Carol Danvers persona is knocked unconscious, allowing Rogue to take back control of her own body. Where the ensuing skirmish would see Rogue captured by Master Mold in an attempt to distract the rest of the X-Men from their mission to destroy him, Rogue is able to send a telepathic message to Psylocke, informing her and the rest of the team to focus all of their energy on Master Mold instead of attempting to free her from his grasp. As a result, Rogue is seemingly killed off when both she and Master Mold were sent through the Siege Perilous. Now, where Rogue would remain absent from the pages of the X-Men comics for over a year while Claremont focused on introducing Gambit and providing a more complete backstory for Storm, her reappearance came in the pages of Uncanny X-Men number 2.
Building your online business? Go to Wix.com and set up your store on a single integrated platform. Add products, showcase them dynamically, and seamlessly track your inventory. Accept multiple secure payments, and design your storefront down to the very last detail. Get all the tools you need. Drive more sales with customizable gift cards and flexible product subscriptions. Retain customers with a point-based loyalty program, email automations, and reach millions with sales channel integrations. Complete your setup with a personalized analytics dashboard. Make smart business decisions and shape the next phase of your business. Build, manage, and grow from one place. Go to Wix and launch your online business today.
I love Montana, but I'm doing this for our family.
Ruin them, starting with her.
Signing this is a declaration of war.
We're already at war.
'69, after being spat out by the Siege Perilous at the X-Men's base in Australia. Now, while I haven't been able to find a definitive source for this, with the X-Men the Animated Series looming on the horizon, it would stand to reason that Rogue's return was a combination of both fan feedback and the popularity of her character, resulting in her appearance as part of the show. As a result, a clean slate was issued with issue number 269, and that immediately upon her reappearance, Rogue learns from a television news report that her adoptive mother Mystique has been killed by an unknown assassin. Distraught, Rogue attempts to locate the X-Men and in the process realizes that because the Siege Perilous operates to provide new lives for those that pass through it, not only has Carol Danvers been purged from Rogue's mind, but the powers of Danvers have been completely removed. Where the story would go on to see Rogue confronted by Carol Danvers' mind, which had manifested as a wholly separate entity, leading to a foray into the Savage Land and a rescue at the hands of Magneto. After taking up as Magneto's unofficial love interest for a time, Rogue's powers were restored by the Priestess Zaldane of the Sun People, who in turn was killed by Magneto. Realizing the truth of Magneto's heart and that he seemed, for all intents and purposes, to be beyond redemption, Rogue eventually abandoned the Savage Land, returning to the X-Men team proper. During this time, and leading up to the launch of the animated series, in October of 1991, the X-Men comics experienced a major shakeup with the launch of X-Men Volume 2, Issue Number 1, written by Chris Claremont and drawn by Jim Lee. Published alongside the Uncanny X-Men line, both Uncanny and X-Men Volume 2 restored the roster of the team's most popular members, ending the Louise Simonson era of X-Factor and bringing all the mutants under one fold, operating as two teams. Spanning the course of the first 3 issues, within the comics themselves and because of the immense size of the new X-Men team, Cyclops suggested to Professor Xavier that the team be split into 2 units, the Blue Team and the Gold Team, and Rogue is placed on the Blue Team under the command of Cyclops alongside Wolverine, Gambit, Psylocke, and Beast. It was during this time that Rogue's most well-known romantic relationship began to take shape, as she and fellow X-Man Gambit began their tumultuous relationship. Although it was clear that Rogue and Gambit had strong feelings for one another, their relationship faced its fair share of challenges, most notably the fact that Rogue's mutant ability made physical contact between herself and Gambit impossible. Where these themes and others would be explored more fully in both the X-Men the Animated Series and the subsequent stories that unfolded in the comics to mirror the show's popularity, over the next few years, Rogue remained on the X-Men and a relationship with Gambit remained a focal point of her narrative. However, because the immediate and eventual departures of Claremont and Jim Lee had removed the 1-2 punch of the X-Men series regarding both art and writing styles, the work of Scott Lobdell and others was considered a bit lackluster and fluctuating, and that Rogue saw her powers both increase and decrease at various times, as well as temporarily lose them in their entirety during a battle with Vargas.
Sorry about that, guys.
While this standard of bouncing around would continue throughout the late 1990s, with the early 2000s seeing Joe Quesada take over as editor-in-chief, as part of his rework of the X-Men franchise during the X-Men Reload event, Volume 2 was renamed to New X-Men with writer Grant Morrison being brought on board, the Uncanny X-Men line was continued, and a third title called Extreme X-Men was launched, with Chris Claremont returning as writer. While Claremont's time on the title lasted 4 years, with the series garnering a lukewarm reception, on the whole, it became clear to both fans and
guys, I see about 8 people in the live chat. There is only 2 names in the name generator. The randomizer only has 2 names. Those names are Emily Rose and William Finlay. I need the rest of you who are here in the live chat to comment anything, something, anything in the live chat. That way I can put your name in the username randomizer so that everyone who is here gets a fair shot at the comic. So if you are here and you have not said anything in the live chat, right now is the time to speak. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be a letter, a number, hey, hi, whatever. It's just to see who all is still here. That way I can put the names in the random username generator. Because otherwise it's going to be between Emily and William, and that's not the point.
critics alike that the 90s version of Rogue would never return. With the Extreme X-Men centering on a version of the team that operated globally, Rogue's time under Storm's leadership in the title between 2001 and 2004 saw a rehashing of 90s storylines, including the search for Destiny's Diaries and the return of Vargas. As a result, and going into 2004 and 2006 respectively, Extreme X-Men was cancelled, the plot threads were rolled over into Uncanny X-Men, and Mike Carey took over the writing duties. During Carey's tenure on the book, Rogue's profile grows in a major way. In issue number 192, Rogue is permitted by Cyclops to select her own team as he and Professor X took many of the X-Men into outer space during a battle with Vulcan as part of the Ed Brubaker Deadly Genesis miniseries, with Iceman, Cannonball, Sabretooth, Lady Mastermind, Karina Sharpandar, and Mystique becoming part of the team. After leading the group to victory against the supervillain group known as the Children of the Vault, Rogue announces that her team will leave the X-Mansion, after which Rogue's X-Men encounter the supervillain Pandemic, who injects Rogue with a virus known as Strain 88, in the hopes of copying her powers for himself. To this end, the effect of the virus is that Rogue's powers were amplified to such a degree that she causes instant death to anyone she touches. Following this, in issue number 199, Rogue absorbs over 8 billion psyches from the Shi'ar superweapon known as a Hecatomb and housed these psyches within her own mind. Leading into the events of Messiah War, Messiah Complex, and 12 Lights, because these stories focus on the birth of Hope Summers as the first mutant after the House of M, Rogue was captured by Mr. Sinister's Marauders with the help of Mystique, who along with Gambit had been working for Sinister. Finding themselves successful in temporarily acquiring Hope Summers prior to Cable taking her into the future, Mystique touches the face of Hope Summers to the face of Rogue, and while Rogue is revived, she's also cured of the multiple psyches within her own mind. Using the events as a means to rework Rogue's powers, with X-Men Legacy serving as a continuation of new X-Men with a different name, writer Mike Carey established that Rogue's powers had never matured to their fullest potential due to mental walls that were created each time she absorbed someone else's powers. As a result, Professor X destroys these walls, and Rogue finds herself in full control of her powers, meaning she can decide whether or not she wants to absorb someone's memories, psyche, powers, or life force, instead of it happening automatically whenever she touches someone. Following this, and going into more recent events, after the events of Avengers vs. X-Men, Rogue is granted Avengers status as she joins the Avengers Unity Squad, a team made up of Avengers and mutants in an attempt to promote unity between the two groups and repair the public perception of mutants. Written by Rick Remender and taking place in Uncanny Avengers, the threads of Avengers vs. X-Men continued on, and that Rogue harbored a great deal of animosity towards Scarlet Witch, whom she blamed for the House of M, which led directly into the events of Avengers vs. X-Men and the death of Charles Xavier. Where the actions of Rogue would see her absorbing the powers of Wolverine, going into a berserker state and killing the Scarlet Witch, or the story tied into the actions of the Apocalypse twins in a plan to frame the Earth for their murder of a Celestial, and a complicated and somewhat confusing set of events. Time travel was invoked by Kane the Conqueror, leading to Rogue absorbing the minds and powers of every Avengers and X-Man in existence in order to ward off the retaliating Celestial host and spare the Earth's destruction. And so following these events and going into Secret Wars, in truth, Rogue did not see much in the way of expansion or intriguing storytelling. Instead, emphasis was placed on the launch of the main Secret Wars event itself and the elimination of dangling plot threads going into the launch of all new, all different Marvel. With that being said, we're going to bring this video to an end, and in the next video that we have, we'll have a discussion on the all new, all different Avengers and how that ties into the lead up to Civil War II. And I will catch you guys later.
Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here, and today we're looking at the Uncanny X-Men number 171. Okay, so to be fair, this is a reprint of Uncanny X-Men number 171, a True Believers reprint for $1. I think these are just to get you to see, what's happened before, and maybe, I don't know, buy trade paperbacks or something. But anyway, this is during...
So the one that he's presenting is a facsimile. You'll see right here in the very top of the comic, it says True Believers number 1. And the barcode down here is different. The one that I am gifting is the original. This one right here in front of you guys, it's the original. It's not a facsimile. It's not a copy. It's not a remake. It's the actual original issue that came out when it first came out. Just real quick.
The infamous Paul Smith run, one of my favorite runs on the X-Men. This is a guest issue by Walt Simonson. This is Rogue's introduction to the X-Men. Welcome to the X-Men, Rogue. Hope you survive the experience. That's a direct homage to when Kitty joined the X-Men. They use the same thing. Welcome to the X-Men, Kitty Pryde. Hope you survive the experience. This is such a great cover. I love Walt Simonson's art. This is definitely one of the high points for the X-Men. Storm had just defeated Callisto by stabbing her in the heart, further proving, like, Chris Claremont writer, Walt Simonson guest penciler, Bob Wiacek finisher, Tom Orzechowski classic letterer, Glynis Wine classic colorist, Louise Jones was still the editor, and Shooter is the editor-in-chief. So Storm was losing touch with herself and Mother Nature. This is like leading up to her getting her mohawk and, stabbing Callisto in the heart to beat her, to take over as leadership of the Morlocks was pretty hardcore, even for Storm. I mean, Storm can be hardcore when she needs to. She grew up in the streets of Cairo. She's one of the best pickpockets. I mean, she definitely knows how to hold her own, and she gets the job done, and that's what she has to do, but that was harsh even for her. So here's Madeline Pryor. It's so funny knowing what would happen with her. But the Gene clone, unless that doesn't hold anymore, not that Phoenix has like taken over the entire universe and is Thor's mom and all that crap. I mean, what the hell is even going on, guys? No offense, but that's what makes it hard for me to pick up a modern comic. I know I'm going to sound like an old fogey. I know it. I don't care. Give me these classic books any day of the week. Carol Danvers is Binary. Such a great character handled by Chris Claremont. It's so funny because he puts his most beloved characters through so much. I think the worse luck or time a character has, the more Claremont must like them because he wants them to grow as a character. This is so stupid to point this out, but this always bothered me. This line on Lolandra's neck. I was like, what is going on there? Like as a Ute. I was like, is she like have a detachable Barbie head or what's happening? This is another thing that bothered me too. Like the perspective seems a little wonky here. It looks like Colossus is humongous, like 14 feet tall. Although he looks super handsome there, so we'll forget it. And there's Eliana. I love Eliana. I've always loved her. She's such a cool character. I thought she was a little too mean girl in the New Mutants movie, but other than that, I loved the movie. I loved the casting. I loved the story. I thought the characters were handled well. And I did love Eliana, but I just thought the Mean Girls was a little weird. But here comes Rogue with her two stripes. Sometimes she has one stripe, sometimes she has two. And the X-Men are not super excited about this. Of course, Xavier, what does he care? I mean, the shit he's done to the sorry, pardon my French, the crap he's done to the X-Men is 100 times worse than half of any of their enemies. So why not let just a bunch of evil mutants join the team? Hell, Magneto will be the leader. We'll just have how many bad guys have joined the X-Men? A lot, right? Oh, this was so cool. I love this depiction of there's Limbo and Belasco. The whole Eliana as Darkchild is such a great. Well, Kitty was even phasing, and Eliana's soul sword still cut her. How messed up is that? Magic seems to scramble powers. I know it always used to be the bane of Superman's existence. I don't know if it still is. I guess it depends on what day of the week it is. You can't keep up with this crap anymore, but I always love this panel. That's such a great shot of Kitty holding her best friend Eliana. There's Storm watering her plants in the attic. I love Storm. Like, could she be any cooler? She just can't. It's impossible. I thought that was so messed up. See, everyone has a secret hatred for Xavier, and there's Storm whipping, throwing a dagger at him, or his mental image, if you will. I love Space Empress Lolandra just hanging out, making tea for Rogue. No big deal. And then here, this is killer too. Here comes Binary. Hi guys, I'm coming home for a visit, and who should I run into? Pow! It's my arch enemy Rogue who stole my persona and my powers and my life, basically. Oh, you're welcome to the X-Men? Wow, screw you guys. That's really messed up. Anyway, well, okay, you chose her over me, so see you later. Bye, guys. So, you're welcome for thanking you all from the Brood. And then here's Storm being all mysterious and contemplating. Anyway, that was such a great issue. Rogue's introduction to the X-Men. That's the original X-Men 171. So thanks for checking it out with me. We all know and love this issue. Please subscribe to my channel. I super appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys. And hit like too. Don't forget. I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Bye.
All right. So those of you who are wondering what it looks like on the inside, he just showed you. All right. Again, this is the original copy, right? The original issue that came out when it did. All right. The date is on the stamp on the upper left-hand side. The Comics Authority stamp is on the right-hand side. And you have the Marvel Comics Group original label on the very top. And you have the direct edition logo on the bottom left. Okay. These are things to look at to know whether it's a legitimate original issue or not. So again, all you got to do is comment in the live chat to enter the raffle. Let's try the one last trick I have up my sleeve. This might not be the best uh, thing to do, but let's see what happens, I guess. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what other video we can find on her. I don't care, Emily. I don't care. I'm doing my part. People need to
Welcome to Comics Bazaar, the channel
learn.
of comics commentary and arcana. This video features The Uncanny X-Men number 171, cover dated July 1983. And this issue cost 60 cents at the time. So the cover here is by Walter Simonson, who is the guest artist responsible for the interiors. And the cover features the caption, "Welcome to the X-Men Rogue. Hope you survived the experience." And Rogue running from the attacking X-Men and the members of the team at that time. So let's open this one up to the splash page. Excellent, evocative splash page here by Walter Simonson of Storm, who in previous issues fought a duel with Callisto, the leader of the Morlocks, and she knifed her through the heart. But Callisto survived due to the power of one of the Morlocks to heal her. And Storm here has taken off her normal cloak and is wearing Callisto's leather jacket as a symbol of the fact that she now is the leader of the Morlocks. So the creative team here is writer Chris Claremont, Simonson, guest penciler, Bob Wyacek, finisher, which means that Wyacek is doing more than a normal inker's job. He's responsible for, likely responsible for backgrounds and certain details that Simonson isn't adding in his pencils or doesn't have the time to. This could be, since it's a fill-in art job, filling in for the regular artist Paul Smith. This may have been turned around in a short amount of time. So let's move on. So what's happening here is that as new leader of the Morlocks, Storm is demanding that they no longer attack surface people, kidnap their children, or kill them. And Callisto here has gotten up from her sick bed, confronts Storm, but she's too weak to take Storm on again. And Storm carries her back to bed. Nightcrawler is in the background there, and he's worried about Storm because Storm previously was something of a pacifist, certainly someone who would never kill. And the stab to the heart indicates that her intention was to kill Callisto. So Nightcrawler's worried about that. Then the scene switches to Anchorage, Alaska, and the first panel there is of a fire in a hearth or grate. And interestingly, if you look closely, the way the flames are drawn, they evoke the Phoenix and the Phoenix Force. So this is not Jean Grey. Jean Grey died, of course, at the end of the seminal and famous Uncanny X-Men 137. But this is Madeline Pryor, who bears an uncanny resemblance to Jean Grey and who is now Scott Summers' girlfriend. So in this scene, she wakes up from a nightmare and tells Scott that she was remembering her last flight. As a commercial pilot, she flew a 747 into San Francisco, but it crash landed. Everybody died except for her, and she wasn't scratched at all. And the date of this incident was September 1st, 1980. And Scott is shocked and thinks to himself, but that's the day Jean Grey died. So who exactly is Madeline Pryor is a mystery that Claremont is exploring over the years leading up to Revelations in the Inferno crossover storyline. So then we have a domestic scene with Carol Danvers here. This is Carol Danvers visiting her parents in Beverly, Massachusetts. And Carol now, since Uncanny X-Men 164, has another identity, no longer Ms. Marvel, but rather binary. She came into that identity in a series of issues in which the X-Men were attacked by the Brood. So then the scene shifts to the X-Mansion, and Kitty Pryde is throwing a bit of a strop because she can't find her computer discs. Then they turn up. Then the scene shifts to Professor X, who's in a new body. Again, this is after the business with the Brood. So his mind and psyche is in a new body, which is perfect in the sense that he shouldn't be paralyzed in this new body, but for some strange psychological reason, he is. So he is going through a series of rehabilitation exercises, and this is Lilandra, who is formerly the magistrix of the Shi'ar Empire, but has come to Earth as Xavier's love. And then we have a little scene with Colossus pondering how to make quiche Lorraine. And Xavier tells him there's someone at the door, so he goes to the door. And who is it except Rogue? So Rogue at this point was a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, going back to her introduction, her first appearance in Marvel Comics in Avengers Annual number 10. There is a video about that annual on the channel, so please do take a look at that. And what does Rogue want with the X-Men? Well, she's looking to speak to Professor X in particular, and she's looking for his help because the permanent absorption of Carol Danvers' powers wasn't just the powers that were absorbed, but Carol's psyche. And Rogue is going crazy with Carol's psyche battling her own in her head. So she's looking for help from Professor X, and she's going against Mystique's wishes in that regard. The X-Men aren't happy at all that Rogue is there, and they're very suspicious of her, but Professor X wants to hear her out and wants a private meeting with her, just him, Lilandra, and Rogue. So the X-Men leave. They're very unhappy. They decide to work out the tension by a Danger Room session. Illyana has programmed the session, and shockingly, the session involves this character, Belasco, who is a other dimensional demon lord, and who held Illyana captive in his realm for what were years for her before she was rescued by the X-Men. She's taken aback by this. She wasn't expecting this herself. And Kitty is shocked too from the control booth. She shuts down the program, and Illyana draws a demon sword, which Kitty's never seen before. And even though Kitty's phasing, the sword somehow manages to injure Kitty and cut her cheek. But Illyana snaps too, and she reveals that now, previously not having any memory of what went on in Belasco's realm, she remembers now. And Kitty says to the X-Men, to give Illyana some space, that everything is going to be all right. So then we have a little scene with Aurora in her room, and she's watering her plants there. But she's upset about many things, in particular maybe the business with Callisto, and also her role with the X-Men. She feels she's changing from the person she once was, and she wishes that she could go back to Africa and be worshipped as a goddess there, but it's not possible. So she's angry with Professor X as well. He summons her and the other X-Men to the living room, or the library rather, where he's going to give his decision about Rogue. And so he tells them that he wants Rogue to be admitted to the school, but also to the X-Men as a probationary member. Now, Aurora is very unhappy with that. She says, as leader of the X-Men, she forbids it. But interrupting all of this is the arrival of Binary, aka Carol Danvers, who clearly punches Rogue into the upper atmosphere. Fantastic half splash here by Walter Simonson, known for his dynamic poses and penciling. So Rogue comes back down. She doesn't recognize Binary, of course, and goes in for the attack, but Binary is way too powerful, and Rogue is confused about who this person is and why she's mad at her. What are you talking about? What's my life got to do with you? We never even met before today. And then Carol reveals her human face, and then Rogue gets it. So Carol wants an explanation from the X-Men about what Rogue is doing there, and Professor X gives one of his big speeches about why Rogue should be allowed to join the X-Men. And he refers to Wolverine as an example. Wolverine, when he first joined the X-Men, had a violent nature, but he had potential to become good. And his time with the X-Men developed that potential. And Professor X thinks the same can be done for Rogue or any mutant at all. So he asks Carol her opinion, and she responds, "What do you want from me, Charles? Understanding, approval? I'll concede one, but not the other. Rogue tore my life, my very soul to shreds, and those scales can never be balanced. I'm sorry, I'm just not that forgiving. And so she leaves. So just as at the end of Avengers Annual 10, Carol decided to not rejoin the Avengers, now she's deciding to leave the X-Men. So what becomes of her next is a big question. So Rogue is accepted by the other X-Men, not Aurora, who's pondering the whole business and who thinks, I want to leave, yet duty demands I stay. Though that means accepting Rogue. Whatever I choose, I will no longer be the woman I was. But what will I become? Aurora, a storm? Which is it to be? So this emotionally tense and perturbed ending to the issue. Rogues joining the X-Men for the first time. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like the video. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more content like this.
Into her 5th decade of existence. 2021 is the 40th anniversary of the character of Rogue in the X-Men from Marvel Comics. The character has been a fan favorite now going into her 5th decade of existence. The character has been loved in comics, in animation, and underutilized in live action so far. So strap on your seatbelt because today we're going to go over the origin and the history of Anna Marie Laveau, the untouchable mutant, also known as Rogue. Welcome back to Comic Power. I'm your host, Comic Killer 72, and welcome to the first episode of a new series called Because Comics, where I go over the origin and the specific history of a particular character. And since it's the 40th anniversary of Rogue, why not her? As always, be sure to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell for notifications so you don't miss anything. Now, here we go. The character made her first appearance in Avengers Annual number 10 back in 1981, and her creation is credited to Chris Claremont and Michael Golden. She is a mutant with the power to absorb someone's life force by skin-to-skin contact. So if she touches you, she could drain your physical strength, even your memories. If you have superpowers, she could temporarily take those too. But it's an involuntary process that she can't control. So if she touches anyone, she could wind up killing them. She's a teenage girl growing up in the deep south in Mississippi, and her name is Anna Marie. And her powers first kick in when she's kissing her boyfriend around the age of 15, and she nearly kills him and makes him comatose. And from the beginning, you can see that this is not a gift. This power is a curse. I'm showing you clips from the X-Men movie that was released in 2000, and they do a great job of showing this initial origin. The father of the boy that she put in a coma organizes a mob to come to their house and try to kill her. Rogue's father is able to hold off the mob so she can run away. So basically, she's an unintended teenage runaway who has to survive going from truck stop to truck stop. She's eventually discovered by a woman named Raven, aka Mystique, who is the leader of the new Brotherhood of Mutants. She takes young Anna Marie in and lets her know that she's not alone. She's a mutant. There's others like her with strange powers. Mystique and her partner Destiny take on the role of surrogate mothers to Anna Marie, and they start calling her Rogue. They educate her that humans will never accept mutants for who they are and radicalize her for the cause of mutant liberation by any means necessary, which includes terrorist acts. She gets upgraded to the power set that we know by coming in contact with Carol Danvers, who was known as Miss Marvel at the time, who's now known as Captain Marvel today. She's able to absorb powers from Carol Danvers, which include super strength and flight. But the contact is so prolonged that Rogue is able to absorb these powers permanently. And this is where Avengers Annual number 10 picks up, where Spider-Woman finds a Jane Doe who is comatose, and the Jane Doe is identified as Carol Danvers, who's been missing for a long time. They take her to Professor X, who's able to probe her mind. It's basically a blank slate. She eventually makes a full recovery and becomes the superhero named Binary in issue 164 of the X-Men. She eventually becomes Miss Marvel again and then gets upgraded to Captain Marvel in 2012. And that's the character we know now that's been in the movie since 2019. As I mentioned before, Rogue draining the powers of Miss Marvel are now permanent. Yes, she does have cool new powers like flight and super strength, but she also has Carol Danvers' memory. It's about to drive her insane because she can't tell the difference between her memories and Carol Danvers' memories. So this is the point where Rogue becomes disillusioned about her mission with the new Brotherhood. Their missions are becoming more extreme and more cruel, and she's dealing with this personal issue of what's going on in her head. And although she loves her surrogate mom, Mystique, very deeply, she just can't take it anymore, and she has to leave. She comes crawling to Professor X and denounces everything she ever did with the Brotherhood and asks for his help. The professor invites her to the school and makes her a conditionary member of the X-Men. This causes a schism within the X-Men, and led by Storm and Nightcrawler, they almost all walk out and quit over the potential addition of Rogue to the team. But the professor is adamant about adding her to the team, and he convinces the other X-Men to stay, but very grudgingly, of course. She shows up for the wedding of Wolverine and Mariko, but he's not ready to trust her yet. Mystique tries to bring her back into the Brotherhood, and although Rogue loves her surrogate mom, she's like, nah, I'm good. The X-Men, my new family. So now that she's on the team, two major things happen with this character at this time. Number one, she gets a redesign from comic legend Jim Lee. Let's face it, her original design makes her look like a 40-year-old waitress named Flo. This Jim Lee design, which is her most famous ever, gives her longer hair, keeps the white streak in it that she's known for, gives her a softer green outfit with some gold in it, and of course the jacket over the top of it. This is just a sample of some of the many different looks the character has had, but the 1990s Jim Lee version is probably the most popular ever. She looks much younger and a whole lot sexier. The other decision they made to advance the character is to make Gambit her love interest. He's a very popular character within the X-Men canon himself. He's that Cajun mutant with the checkered past. The character's real name is Remy LeBeau. He makes his first full appearance in comics in X-Men number 266 in 1990. His creation is credited to Chris Claremont and Jim Lee. He has the mutant power to manipulate kinetic energy. The character had only been around for 2 years when they decided to make him a core X-Men member for the animated show. But he was the immediate fan favorite when he was first introduced anyway, so it was a good decision to put him on the team and deciding to make him a love interest for Rogue, who needed one. So this relationship that really started in the animated series crossed over into the actual printed books, and it became a very good storyline for both of these characters. They kind of understand each other both as mutants and being from the deep south, with her from being from Mississippi and him from being from Louisiana next door. Marvel did eventually have these characters actually get married. She's now known as Anna Marie LeBeau. Her maiden name was never given in comics. This happens in X-Men Gold issue number 30, when Colossus and Kitty Pryde are supposed to be getting married, but Kitty backs out at the last minute. And just like in a soap opera, Gambit decides to ask Rogue to marry him, and she says yes. This storyline was published back in 2018. To keep up with these characters as a married couple, be sure to pick up the miniseries Mr. and Mrs. X, which also came out in 2018. Also check out the miniseries Rogue and Gambit from 2018 as well. It's a 5-issue miniseries. There are so many great storylines about the character of Rogue over her 40-year history in Marvel Comics that if I try to talk about all of them, it would be a 3-hour video. But one of my favorite redesigns and storylines for Rogue is Savage Land Rogue. The Savage Land in Marvel Comics is a prehistoric land that's undiscovered in Antarctica. It first appeared in X-Men number 10 way back in 1965. And because comics, she's transported there and has to learn how to survive, as documented in issues 269 and issue 274 of the X-Men. For some people, they believe that the storyline was created just so they could get the sexy Rogue character in as little clothes as possible. And they're probably right. It is pretty gratuitous, isn't it? But comic fans weren't exactly complaining about this now, were they? Marvel went even further with their special swimsuit editions. I don't have much to say about it other than it was pretty interesting, but it's something that Marvel wouldn't do today because it would be viewed as exploitive. Marvel put out this edition once a year for 4 years straight between 1992 and 95, and Rogue is the only character that rocked the cover twice, 2 different years. I'm sure that was based on fanboy demand. I'm sure this was intended to be all for fun as a dig at the swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated, but it's something that needed to be retired and stay retired. Don't come back to this, Marvel. It's probably not a good idea. Just let fans on pages like DeviantArt.com come up with their own ideas. Let's take another look at the animated series while we're here, which I mentioned started in 1992 and was a Saturday morning cartoon. And the X-Men were popular in comics among hardcore nerds that love this stuff like myself, but the animated series really made this bust out to the mainstream in a way it had never had before. Without me going on a rant, Fox did some really crazy stuff with the X-Men and took certain liberties in the live action movies, but the actual animated series was handled by Marvel themselves, and they did exactly what they were supposed to do in following the comics basically beat for beat. In the very first episode, we see the badassery of Rogue and Storm working together as a team, but they had to save a young mutant named Jubilee who's being hunted down by Sentinels at the shopping mall. In the movie version, Storm is pretty docile, a background character who's very depowered, and Rogue, they don't even use her in terms of her powers at all. She's just trying to get rid of her powers the whole movie and acts like a punk. Now compare that to the animated series where you see these characters are both powered up and they're kicking major butt like they're supposed to be. Don't let me go on a rant against Fox right now. We'll be here all day. The X-Men 1992 animated series is her most famous animated appearance. Some other animated highlights include X-Men Evolution, which ran from 2000 to 2003. Wolverine in the X-Men from 2009, where she looks like this. There's also an X-Men anime, which is not very well known in the United States, which came out in 2011. Rogue is not a primary character in here. She only makes a cameo. There's a deep archive of X-Men video games in which Rogue plays a major part as well. Shown in the crawl here is some of her appearances in the 2000s alone. I'll give you a full list within the description below. Of course, there's the movies where they gave her a decent debut in X-Men Part 1, but in X2, they failed to advance her character. In X3, they actually regressed the character, and it was tragic. By the time you get to her 4th appearance in Days of Future Past, in the theatrical cut, she's so insignificant, they just gave her a little cameo role at the end. So yes, Fox dropped the ball on the use of Rogue in live action movies, which I'll talk about in a future video. Another significant event of the Rogue story is told in X-Men Legacy number 224, where Professor X learns how Rogue can control her powers for the first time. Her powers to absorb were involuntary at first, but now she's able to control them, and she proves it by kissing Gambit, with no ill effects, so she's now cured. She still has this power, but she can control it now. But overall, you can see that Rogue has been a significant player in comics themselves, the video games, the animation, and live action, even though the role was reduced. Now let's have some fun by showing some women interpreting Rogue in cosplay, and I'll be sure to credit them if the information is available to me. Music, please. was an awesome job, ladies. Thank you for your contribution to the folklore that is Rogue. Now let's do a quick recap on the Rogue character. She seems to be just a regular teenage girl growing up in Mississippi, but her mutant powers of absorption kick in when she's kissing her boyfriend, which puts him in a coma. And she's traumatized because she can't have skin-to-skin contact with anyone ever again in the future. Now that it's known that she's a dangerous mutant, the father of the boy she put in a coma organizes a mob to try to come and kill her. So she's forced to become a runaway, living on the street in Mississippi and barely surviving. She's discovered by the shape-shifting mutant known as Mystique, who becomes a surrogate mother to her and radicalizes her to the ways of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Mystique weaponizes her power to devastating effects. Her most significant battle is where she drains the power of Miss Marvel, also known as Carol Danvers. And instead of temporarily getting Miss Marvel's powers, she's able to gain them permanently. But she also gains the memories of Carol Danvers, and she can't tell her memories from the Carol memories, and it's driving her insane. She decides to leave Mystique and the Brotherhood and goes to Professor X for help. He agrees to help her and puts her on the team, which gets a lot of pushback from the other X-Men who can't stand her, but eventually they come around and accept her to the team. She proves to be trustworthy, helpful in battle, and saves the life of Colossus and the love interest of Wolverine. She has an on-again, off-again relationship with the Cajun mutant Gambit, but they eventually get married. And Professor X is able to cure her from her powers being involuntary. She still has the power to absorb, but she can control it now. In 2021, the character shows up to the Hellfire Gala dressed like this. Now let's go over some key issues you need to know or have to understand the Rogue character. That starts with Avengers Annual number 10, released in 1981. It's the first appearance of Rogue. Then there's Uncanny X-Men number 158 from 1982. It's the first cover appearance of Rogue and her first appearance in the X-Men title. There's Rom Space Knight number 31 from 1982 as well, which is her third appearance. Another early appearance is Dazzler number 22, also from 1982. There's Uncanny X-Men number 171 from 1983, where she first joins the team. And then in the very next issue, she shows up for the wedding of Wolverine and Mariko, but he's not ready to trust her yet. She stars in her first 4-issue miniseries released in 1995. She stars in another 4-issue miniseries released in 2001, and she stars in a 12-issue maxi series which was released in 2004. Her Savage Land appearances are in issues 269 and 274 from 1990 and 1991. First appearance of her husband Gambit is in Uncanny X-Men number 266 in 1990. She gets cured of her absorption powers in issue number 222 of X-Men Legacy in 2009, and her and Gambit finally get married in X-Men Gold number 30 from 2018. And the character also has very impressive appearances in animation and video games. As I mentioned before, her live action movie appearance was pretty lackluster, but I'll talk about that in another video, I promise. Now it's time for you to sound off. Is Rogue one of your favorite X-Men characters? How high do you rank her? Which Rogue design do you like the most? Which animated version of Rogue do you like best? Do you dislike the movie version just as much as I hate? What is the best way to introduce Rogue into the MCU? Should it be in a future Captain Marvel movie where she drains her powers like in the comics? Be sure to sound off in the comment section about all things Rogue. And once again, happy 40th anniversary to the Rogue character. I think she'll be just as popular 40 years from now. Thank you for watching Because Comics, where I go over the specific origin of comic book characters. As always, be sure to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell for notifications to make sure you don't miss anything. And be sure to share these videos on social media to help grow this channel. Until next time, this is Comic Killer 72 for Comic Power saying bye-bye.
See, Sweet Baby Ray is both on the stream and on my phone. All right, let's see if I can switch over to giving you guys attention here. Yeah, no, Sweet Baby Ray. If y'all don't remember, which I'm pretty sure everyone who's in here who's part of the predator catching community will. But he is or was a fellow catcher in the predator catching community. Um, to the point where he was very close by. We were both in Florida. He actually, and I talked about this the other day, but he actually mustered up the courage to visit me one time, all the way to my apartment complex, and we had a great like bro date that night. It's an unforgettable night. I actually remember most of the things that we talked about. I can't lie and say everything because my mind is not that good to retain all that information. But I do remember it was a really nice, bromantic night. No homo. Um, and yeah, we had a good time. We ate. Um, we shared backgrounds. We shared stories. We shared testimonies. We shared just general outlooks on life. Um, and yeah, I I always only have great things to say about Ray. And those of you who are here, who are part of the prior community, uh, can be can testify to that because okay, it was a good long video.
The popular X-Men character Rogue
Um,
celebrated her 40th anniversary in 2021. In honor of that, I created a
yeah,
previous video called The
I
Origin of Rogue.
honest
See the
to
link in the
God, I
description
did
if you want
not
to see that.
know
The character has very strong
that
depictions in
apparently
the printed
he
page,
has
animation,
feud,
video games,
with a
but was
different
extremely
under a
weak in
different
live
scroll
action
name,
and movies. But also remember that the
which if he
X-Men
wants to
universe was
share
owned
it in
by
the live
Fox,
chat,
and
he
Marvel
can.
didn't have anything to do with the creative
But
decisions. And
apparently
Fox
he's still
developed characters
operating.
like Wolverine, but
I
didn't do
believe the
so with
room
Rogue. Now that
is
Disney
no
has
longer
bought
here
out
in
Fox,
Florida.
the X-Men are going to come
Here.
into the MCU. So to fix
Um,
Rogue, in this
but he
video,
has
I'm going to go over the
his
top 10
effort
actresses I think should be considered to
to
play Rogue in the MCU.
rid the people in the legal, most non-vigilante way. But as much as by the book as he can.
Welcome back to Comic Power. I'm your host, Comic Killer 72, and you're watching a special report about who I think should be the top 10 actresses
But
who
yeah,
should be considered to play Rogue in a
Sweet
live
Baby
action
Ray
movie. But first, a
actually
little
was the one
background
who
information
won
about the character.
last
If you're
night's
not
raffle.
interested in this and want to get directly to the top 10, jump to this
I think he's
timestamp.
gonna
The
send me
character
the
made her first
edits
appearance in Avengers
as soon as
Annual number
possible
10 back in
to
1981.
the
And her creation is
messages.
credited to Chris Claremont and Michael Golden. She is a mutant with
He
the
has my
power to
number.
absorb
Reach
someone's
out to me.
life force by
Let me
skin-to-skin
know.
contact. So if she touches you, she could drain your
So yeah,
physical
as soon as he
strength,
sends me
even
that
your
information,
memories. If you have superpowers,
about
she could
the
temporarily
comic
take
book.
those too. But it's an involuntary
For him,
process that she can't control.
um,
So if she touches anyone, she could wind up
like
killing them. As I stated
sometime this
previously,
week,
I did a full
hopefully
Rogue origin
tomorrow. But
video.
the thing
See the
is,
link in the
with this
description
new
for
edition
a
we
full
got,
breakdown on her origin.
this new
The
edition
only
we
actress to
got,
ever play Rogue in
it's
live
literally
action
goes
is
like
Anna
9 to
Paquin,
5,
and this was a
5:30,
huge fail.
sometimes
We're going to break this down
depending
exactly
on
why in
what's going
5
on,
different
almost up
sectors.
until 6.
And that's going to be casting,
So
power set,
by that time,
character
usually
development, costume
the
design, and the
the
character
post
essence.
offices
I'll give all
are
those
closing.
categories an individual grade, then an
We'll see
overall
how soon I
grade,
can start.
and then I'll move over
That's
into
one
the
of
criteria
the
of what
I have
should be
right
used to pick the next actress that's going to play Rogue to get it right. And let me apologize in advance for any ageism, sexism, male gazy, or
now.
look shaming. This video should be looked at through the lens of Hollywood
Okay.
casting. You ever heard that phrase that you like sausage, but you don't like?
I apologize if my voice was not loud enough because of the video running in the background. My bad. Think because one of the videos that was playing before was like super low volume, even though I had the volume all the way up on my side. I guess I forgot to change it back to normal volume setting, and now every other video that plays is like super loud. So my apologies, but thank you, Emily, for pointing that out. I appreciate it. By the way, in case some of y'all didn't know, Emily is my personal assistant. So just in case y'all didn't know that, now you do. So technically, Sweet Baby Ray is also now in the raffle picking of tonight. So let me put his name in the spot. Although some might say that it's not fair because he won last night's raffle, but you know, I just want to see like just how how crazy the randomizer is. It'd be hilarious if Ray won again tonight. I will laugh nonstop. Like that would just be hilarious. Last one to show up again, and the first one to win it again. That'd be insane. All right, I am gonna end the stream at 10 p.m. So I want to say around like 9:45 ish. I'll enter whatever usernames like for from whoever's here right now. I'll pretty much like generate the randomizer. Username the randomizer and pick out a winner. Mhm.
Another actress that will not be Rogue is Catherine Newton. To be honest, she was on my short list and definitely would make the top 10, but she got cast to play Cassie Lang in the Ant-Man franchise. And they fired the last Cassie Lang for whatever reason and hired her instead. But for 2021, Catherine is 24 years old. She looks great, and I wish her success. Now, future Young Avenger is the character Stature. Another actress that will not be Rogue, Ali Khan. It's a pretty big deal in Hollywood, but her fans also have been incredibly tall. That ended when she was cast to play Kate Bishop, the new Hawkeye. She
Hmm.
was mentored by the original Hawkeye for this, so no Rogue for her either. And Creed 2 will be Holly is 24 years old. It's 2021. She's 5'8", great exotic look, strong actress and singer. She'll be fantastic. Now let's get to 5 essential criteria for casting. Number one, it has to be acting experience. Only one of these women in my top 10 was not the primary actor. Either she made her debut in 2021, which is based on the origin of the character, she in a very dark, place. That has light and really handle. Criteria number two, the real life age of the actress should be between 18 and 25. We need someone who can look like this 15 years old. You sign that actress to a 10-year deal if you need that actress to have 15-year-old to a model. Criteria number three is height. I think that the actress should be between 5'4" and about 5'6". I don't want my rogue short like 5'2" because it's showing she's gonna look menacing. I envision them having a lot of scenes together like a man. The actress that I think should play Storm is 5'4". Look at the description, like Storm recasting. If MCU cast Paul Storm like I expect them to, you don't want that actress to tower over who plays Rogue. Criteria number four, you don't want someone overexposed, like if they tried to make Taylor Swift Rogue.
What?
And the fifth and final criteria, Rogue should be a white female. There are three reasons for this.
I
Number one, the X-Men are probably the most culturally
agree,
diverse
but
team in comics. You don't have to believe in race swapping or discrimination.
no.
Number two, we have precedent with characters like
Hmm.
art and depicted outside comics and animated on live action. And number three, she described as a Southern belle from Mississippi that calls everything suge and hunt. Sounds like a
I
white
love
woman
it.
from the South to me. Thank you for hanging in there with me for the initial setup. I promise it'll be well worth the wait. So now, without any further ado, I present to you the top 10 actresses who should be considered to play roles in the MCU. Number 10, Catherine Ray. This is a real wild card. She's 21 years old in the video. She's 5'4" and an American, but she hits 4 to 5 criteria being number 10 role. So let's address the above beginners. Yes, she did get famous on TikTok. She started around 16 years old. She got popular doing whatever the dance move she did. So the dance move really led her to 78 million followers. I don't let the birds overexposed because she's not famous on TV. She used social media to get famous out of nowhere. And that has made her a huge thing, man. She made her, and she didn't have to go to Hollywood. Hollywood paid. She made her acting fairly great. She's all that, which is basically a Junior Squad remake of the 1990s movie Cheese. The film's not going to win an Oscar or anything, but it was okay. Casting absolutely has the attractive look, just enough height at 5'4". The physicality is there, which all would work for the Rogue character, and she has a built-in fan base of nearly 80 million people, which is a bonus. We don't know if she can handle dramatic acting. That's why this is a great choice. Let's see her tackle a dramatic acting. Number 9, Kelly Devlin, 25 years old, 5'4", an American from California. So she hits 4 to 5 criteria. 5'4", just being 1 inch short. She had a very interesting experience. Child actress, she got this Disney project features Lab Rats and the spin-off Lab Rats Elite. And like every child actress that I would in this movie, Kelly Cole has not been as good lately. So she's done very small roles and guest stars on television. And the stuff that she has been starring in has been very like relationships. She can't one season because she's bad at it. Maybe she should play a manager position because she's very good at work. I know there's a lot of pretty faces that are over in Hollywood. She was very good at performing. And she's just perfect being a superhero. Making this video, I found something about her being hard to work with or on some insane Lindsay Lohan type of stuff and stuff. But whatever it is, Hollywood is just not interested in her. But the thing I like about her is that she can look and she'll be just perfect. Whatever. At the end of the day, if I was casting Rose, I would bring her to Chloe Moretz. She's 4, 24 years old, an American, 7 manager. She gets 4 to 5 criteria.
Mhm. All right, in about 2 minutes, I'm going to bring up the name generator, and I'm going to share the screen so you guys can see who wins tonight's comic. Um, obviously, I really wish a lot more people would have participated or could have participated. I know I'm aware that I didn't like advertise or like promote this a lot, so that has to do a lot with like how many people like actually attended and showed up. Um, but I mean, yeah, it is what it is, and you can just I guess just spread the word. You know, whoever wins tonight's comic, just spread the word on social media. Hey, I was part of this raffle on this channel, on this live stream. You know, uh, yeah, and just help me promote it once you win the comic. So yeah, that way you're helping me, and I'm able to bless a lot more people, which is the whole point. Because I'm trying to expand my reach towards like a lot more new people, and that way I can bless it forward. All right. All right. Here we go. Showtime. I am not accepting any more submissions. So if you type something now, it's useless. Your time is up. Let's share the screen. All right, so we got Emily, William, and Sweet Baby Ray. Let's see. Yo, you cannot make this up, bro. I hand to God, you cannot make this up. Sweet Baby Ray wins again. I can't believe this. I can't believe this, man. This freaking hilarious. This boy showed up. Well, first of all, he didn't even show up to the first stream. All right, someone pretty much like bought him a ticket, and in tonight's stream, he showed up like at the very end, basically. You cannot make this up, man. I listen. Um, I was gonna say earlier that the only way I would allow uh, Ray to win was if he would have gotten picked twice back to back, but because he won last night, it would be the only fair thing to do. So, but since I didn't say it, fair is fair. Um, yeah, sweet baby Ray again with the with the win. Um, yeah, Ray, just send me your address through the text messaging, and I will send out the two comics that you've won so far as soon as possible. That is freaking hilarious. You cannot make that up. You can't make it up. Hand to God. I was really certain that it was not going to go down that way. I was really certain. But here we are. Oh my goodness, this is too good. This is too good. It's freaking hilarious, yo. This is so hilarious. This is hysterical. Like you really, I mean, there's no. Yeah. If Ray wins again tomorrow night or moving forward, he's probably hacked into the system, man. Yeah, I'm right there with you. He definitely has. Because what was I going to do with that? Well, Emily, you could have kept it, you know what I'm saying, as something for like memory's sake, that I touched the comic, I was holding onto the comic, my fingerprints on the plastic, you could frame it and be like, oh, JDQ touched this, JDQ had his hands all over this, you know what I mean? But yeah, um, now that we got that taken care of, um, I'm gonna start wrapping things up. Let's put this down, shall we? She says she would have given it to William. That's so nice of you. That's so nice of you. Okay, fine. Apparently, you don't want nothing that was in my hands. Anyways, um, uh, guys, there are links in the scrolling banner below me, and in the description area of past videos. There's links to iceclickjewelry.com, where if you click the link that I provide, you actually get a 10% discount. If you go to my JDQ Just Don't Quit merch store on Teespring, there's discount codes like buy one get second half off or something like that, or free shipping or something like that. And just other links altogether. There's PayPal and Cash App links if you wanted to bless the channel, bless the team, bless myself or the family. The ways of doing that is PayPal and Cash App. Those are the quickest ways of blessing me or my family or this channel or the team. William says he's going to change his name to Ray so he can win next time. That's crazy, yo. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate the love and support. I appreciate the viewership. For those of you who were here from start to finish, thank you so much. For those who shared the stream, thank you so much. And for those who participated in the raffle, thank you so much. This will continue until I have completely cleaned out my old collection and my dad's old collection. So this will probably go on for like weeks and months. Um, the goal is always to do 5 comics in the same night, but realistically, until this channel grows to a higher crowd, to where there's like multiple people at the same time, you know, anywhere between like 10 viewers or 20 viewers at a time and up, I don't see that happening. So for now, we'll just stick to doing just 1 comic per night. Um, Hopefully, we're able to raffle them off every night. And in the future, you know, hopefully, yeah, we can do more. But yeah, that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow again. And the only reason why I'm not continuing with a regular show is because it's going to be 10 p.m. And it took forever to get this done. That's why I say the more people you guys invite to these streams that you think or know will be interested, and the faster we get done with the raffles, we can get to the actual regular like show that we have for you guys, and you know, talk about the topics and all that. But if the raffle takes, you know what I'm saying, as long as it took tonight or last night, like I can't push myself past a certain limit to do the actual like Vision IBTV regular show stream, you know. It's just too much. It really is. So yeah, the more people we have involved and interacting with these streams, the sooner and quicker we get the raffles done with, then it gives us more time to have the actual show. So yeah, love you guys, and I really do mean that, by the way. I'm not just saying it. Really do love every single one of you guys, and I will be back tomorrow, like I said, and the rest of this week from 7 p.m. forward. And I've been doing it that early just because, you know, like I think around that time, people people are already out of work. They're at their houses for the most part. So I figured it'd be a good time to you guys, you know, and have you here with me. But yeah, God bless every single one of you guys. Again, stay safe and blessed. And as always, until next time, this was JDQ with Vision Eye View TV. Until next time, peace out.